Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about order of operations, which is just the sequence to follow when performing an operation in a mathematical expression. So when we simplify math expressions, we can't just simplify them from left to right. We have to do it in a very specific way. We have to do certain operations first and then certain operations last. The easiest way to remember the order that we have to go in is with an acronym, and that acronym is PEMDAS. Some of you guys might remember it as "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." But what we'll do in this video is go through what every letter means, and then go over a couple of examples. So let's start with the letter P. P stands for parentheses. So parentheses are obviously parentheses, but they also include any like absolute values or radicals. So we have to do anything inside the parentheses first. That comes absolutely first. Then we have exponents. And exponents are, if you've ever seen something taken to a power of something, it's that number that's to the power of, that's an exponent. So if we have any little numbers that are kind of on top of another number, that is considered an exponent, and it has to come after the parentheses. Then we have multiplication. And we also have division. And I'm going to kind of talk about these two together because they are technically on the same level. While multiplication comes first in the acronym, we could either multiply or divide first. It doesn't matter. The way that we determine which way we do first is which one comes to the left, which one is first in the equation. So which one's on the leftmost side. So if division came first before multiplication in the equation, then we would divide before we would multiply. And then the last two sections are for addition and subtraction. And these are treated really similarly to multiplication and division because they're on the same level. It doesn't matter whether we add or subtract first. So to determine what we actually do first is which one comes on the left. So once again, if there was a subtraction operation before an addition operation in an expression, then we would subtract before we added. All right, let's go through some examples. Number 1, we have 16. All right, so in here we have addition, division, multiplication, and subtraction. So what we're going to do is start with our division because it came before the multiplication, and we know we have to do multiplication and division before we do addition and subtraction just based on the fact that multiplication and division are above the addition and subtraction in our acronym. So I'm going to underline my division because that's what I'm going to end up doing first. I'm going to leave everything else alone. So I'm going to say 16 plus, now I can do the 4 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And we've got times 1 minus 4. All right, now the next thing to do would be the multiplication because multiplication still is above that addition and subtraction. So I'm going to underline the multiplication portion, and we would have 16. And then 2 times 1 is still just 2, so I'd say plus 2 minus 4. All right, now we just have an addition and a subtraction problem. Because the addition comes first in the equation, we're going to add first. So we have 16 plus 2. Well, 16 plus 2 is 18, and then minus 4, and then now it's just one operation. So there's only one thing to choose, and it's subtraction, which we can do 18 minus 4, and 18 minus 4 is 14. And this is my answer. This is the simplified version. All right, let's do another example. Okay, So let's see, 10 minus 3 plus 1 plus 20. All right, so this one only has addition and subtraction, but notice that it also has the set of parentheses in the middle. Because it has the set of parentheses in the middle, automatically that has to go first. No matter what's inside the parentheses, it has to go first. So I'm going to just underline the parentheses. All right, so 3 plus 1 we can do. So we're going to say 10 minus, well, 3 plus 1 is 4. And as soon as I finish what's inside the parentheses, I can take the parentheses away. So I can just write 10 minus 4 and then plus 20. And once again, we have it down to just addition and subtraction. Because they're on the same level, I'm going to do what comes first or what comes to the left, and that's the subtraction. So 10 minus 4 is 6, and then I can say 6 plus 20, and now I have one operation left, which is addition, and I get 6 plus 20 is 26. There we go. All right, let's go through another example. Let's scoot this up here. Okay, so this one got a little bit more complicated, but to begin with, our acronym starts with that P, which is parentheses. So we know we have to do what's inside the parentheses. There's two sets of parentheses. So what we're going to do is do them simultaneously. Now, this first set of parentheses has two operations in it. It has an exponent with this to the third power in it. That's considered an exponent. And it also has a subtraction problem in it. So when we have a set of parentheses that has multiple operations in it, we have to use order of operations inside of that set of parentheses. So we know that it's got an exponent in it and a subtraction problem in it. What we're going to do is start with the exponent and then do the subtraction. So just for this left set of parentheses, we would start with this 2 cubed because that exponents come before subtraction. So we know 2 cubed is 8 because that's 2 times 2 times 2, and 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 again is 8. So I'm going to say 8 minus 3, and then times. Now, we're also going to do this set of parentheses. In fact, let me just erase this parenthesis. Okay, so we're going to do this set of parentheses as well because this one only has one operation and it's addition. So I know 1 plus 1 is 2. I'm going to write 2. But notice that there's this squared on the outside. That squared, because it's on the outside, will just be attached to whatever the answer was on the inside. So it's going to be 2 squared right there. All right. So now we're still going to have to deal with the parentheses, this first set of parentheses. And we know that now that we got rid of the exponent in there, we can do the subtraction. And 8 minus 3 is 5. So I'm just going to write 5 times 2 squared. Okay. Now that all of the parentheses are gone, we can keep on going with our acronym, which would be, the next step would be exponents, which is this 2 squared. Well, we know 2 squared is the same thing as 2 times 2, which is 4. So now we have 5 times 4. We only have one operation left, and 5 times 4 is 20. And that is my answer. Okay, now let's go through one more example. Let me erase this. All right. Let's see. 2 times. All right, so if you notice here, we have a set of parentheses and we also have a set of brackets. We're going to treat the brackets and parentheses the same, but when you have multiple sets of brackets and parentheses inside of each other, you have to start with the one that's the most inside. And so what we're going to do is start with this 5 minus 1 because it's inside of that set of brackets. So I'm going to leave everything else the same. 2 times 3 plus, now 5 minus 1 is 4. And once again, because of this squared on the outside, I'm just going to attach it to what was the answer on the inside, minus 8. And now that set of brackets, even though they're not parentheses, we're going to treat them like parentheses, because that's the way that it works, which means that we have to do the addition problem inside the parentheses, inside the brackets, and the exponent, because we have to follow order operations inside of parentheses. We're going to do the exponent first, the 4 squared first, so I'm going to have 2 times 3 plus, well, 4 squared is the same thing as 4 times 4, which is 16, minus 8. Now that we got the exponent out of the way, we can do the addition part inside of the parentheses. So you have 2 times 3 plus 16 is 19, minus 8. All right, now that we got rid of the parentheses and the brackets and even all of the exponents, we have to do the multiplication or division first. And so we've got this multiplication problem right here. 2 times 19 is 38. And then now we just have one operation left, which is subtraction. And 38 minus 8 is 30. And there we have it, order of operations.